Hello everyone, welcome to the Fast API series. This video is the introductory video of Fast API, where we will be discussing about how the Fast API library works, what exactly Fast library is, and its features. Also, we will be looking into steps required for the initial setup for this library, and then we will write the one of the simplest code for the Fast API example. So let's first try to understand uh, what is an API. So so when a person, let's say we can take an example of a person visiting an ATM machine. So when the person goes to an ATM machine to withdraw the cash, okay, so what does it does? It tries to interact with the ATM machine. So here the ATM machine acts a kind of a bridge or a communication bridge between the user who wants to withdraw the cash and the bank server. So the user cannot directly contact the bank server to get the money. So here the ATM is a kind of a communication platform with the help of which the user can withdraw the money. So what happens is like when the user goes and presses the button, so it sends the withdrawal request to the bank and process it securely and returns the approved cash to the user. So this is here in this example, the ATM machine is a kind of an API. So basically, what an API is, API stands for Application Programming Interface. It allows the different software system which are built in different programming language. It's not necessary it should be on the same language. It can be a different software system, and it helps to help them to communicate with each other. So it enables automation, easy integration, and building the scalable application. So so this was all about the API. Now, in the next step, we are going to talk about what is this Fast API. So, Fast API is basically is a kind of a library which is being designed to build the APIs, a kind of a web framework for building the APIs with the help of Python. And it uses the standard Python type hints, and it's very fast. It's high performance, modern. When I say modern, it has support for the libraries which are based on latest technologies. It supports large language model APIs and the most advanced technologies. It's as I said, like some of the key features of Fast API is its high performance. It uses async fast execution. The other thing is like we don't have to build the documentation for the API. It has an integration with Swagger and Redoc. Then we can also go for data validation using Python types. It's very easy to develop, very simple, developer friendly. It also supports security and authentication. And the other thing is like we can also create unit tests using PyTest. So it's easy to provide the easy testing and dependency injection. So this is a simple Fast API example, which I was a kind of an introduction of Fast API. Now, if you want to go to the official website, so this is the official website of Fast API. So you can go click on this Fast API. This is the website. Um, and you can see this is the documentation code. Here's the source code of the GitHub. You can see here the things which we have already discussed. It's very fast and fewer bugs, robust, standard based. Um, and so this is about the Fast API introductory page. Now you can click on the features. So you can see it has the Fast API is based on the open standard, like it uses Open API for API creation. It also has support for the automatic data model documentation using with JSON schema. And the other thing is like you can also do the testing because it provides API documentation, and it also has support for the web user interfaces. So with the help of the Swagger UI, we can also test our APIs which we have created, that whether it's working fine or not with the required data or with the required requirements on which we have built our APIs. It also provides the support for redoc. So whatever um, API fields you have provided, it can provide the details of all of them. So you don't need to create a separate documentation. With the help of Redoc, documentation is already there. And it uses the modern Python type, okay, which is very important for data validation. Then also it has a support for the different editors, so you can use Visual Studio Code, you can use PyCharm. So in our course, we are going to talk about we will be doing most of our coding in our Visual Studio Code, and we will do the setup accordingly. Then we have also validations, okay, for all of them for JSON objects, JSON array, string, and numbers. And it also has support for the security. So you can have the HTTP basics, OAuth 2 with JWT tokens. So you can provide a security to your API so that other parties or third parties cannot access your APIs. And it also has a dependency injection system. So all these things, the features which it has, we are going to look into it step by step in our complete playlist. And then it has also some other features, okay, like it has support WebSocket support, background task, test client built on HTTPX. Also it has support for the middleware like cores, session and cookie support, test coverage. I told you, like you can build your unit test on the things, pydantic sub features. And so these all things are there, so you can have a go through this official website. You can click on the features and the fast API. And yeah, so this was a kind of an introduction about the fast API. Now in the next part, we are going to talk about setting up um, the prerequisites. So what we are going to do here is we are going to first set up. So what I have done here is I have created a GitHub repo, okay, and that repo I have cloned it. Okay, so the repo name is Fast API 0 to Hero. I have cloned it inside this particular path. I went to this particular path. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to uh, create a virtual environment. So why virtual environment is important? Because in this virtual environment, we can have a we can install all our libraries which we require instead of installing it in the whole system. Okay, so it can be very much specific. You can also create a requirement.txt and where you can put all your library files and you can install it. But we are going to go with very basic. So we are going to create this virtual environment. So this is the step of creating the virtual environment. So once you have done with this one, I'm not going to create it for you because I have already created it. So I'm just going to show this is the command to create a virtual environment. So what will happen when you run this particular command? It will create a .vnv field folder inside your project. Inside your project. Now, in the next step, what you are going to do, you are going to uh, run this particular command. So, which is basically to bypass the execution policy. Sometimes it's like your system blocks the access so to the any environment. So you have to run this particular command. After that, you have to activate the virtual environment which you have created. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this particular command. So you see here, once I ran this particular command, so .pnv, this particular thing appeared here, which means that you are in the virtual environment. You are your virtual environment is being activated. If you want to deactivate your virtual environment, just type deactivate inside this particular and it will be deactivated. So once you have activated your virtual environment, then next step what we are going to do is we are going to install the fast API. So you can just type a command pip install fast API. Once you run this particular command, and let me show you, I click on this one. So for me, it's already satisfied because I've already installed the fast API. Now, if you also want to check that um, what is the version of the fast API, so you can just type this particular command pip just to confirm that you're in fast API. So it is going to show you the version. Okay, so pip show fast API. So you can see here for me the version is fast API. This one, okay, a kind of a summary and all those things in detail. So so, so once you have installed your Fast API and you have done all these, you have confirmed it using pip show Fast API that the Fast API is being installed successfully. Then what we are going to do in the next step, we are going to write a simple, simple Fast API program. So I have created this kind of a core concept folder inside this. This is the first part. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use from Fast API enter. Okay. Import Fast API. So you can see in this step what I'm doing, I'm trying to import the Fast API class from the Fast API package. So Fast API is basically here the ASGI application class used to create the web APIs. So once you have done this, then I'm going to instantiate a Fast API application object. So how I'm going to do that? App is equal to Fast API. So so it's being created. Now in the next step, I'm going to create a decorator that registers an HTTP TP get root. So I'm going to use this at the rate app dot. I'm going to use the get here. Then I'm going to double quote and then slash. Okay, then enter. And then after this, so this is basically defining the HTTP method get method. And this slash is the URL path, which is the URL path which we are going to support. So what happens here is like internally the fast API add this route to your routing table and associates the path with the functions defined below. So the function is like this way. I'm going to write the function, simple function, async, let's say define route, colon, enter, and return. What I'm going to return here is I'm going to return a kind of a dictionary object. Okay, so I'm going to define message, and then we have this message. What message I want to display? Welcome, Fast API tutorial. Okay, so this is the method which I have created. So what happens in this method is like basically here the async indicates that the function runs inside the Python's async event loop. It can handle any kind of a non-blocking input output efficiently. And this method is returning a Python dictionary. And so what happens here is like we have defined that our output should be a kind of a Python dictionary. But when you run this code, automatically it's going to serialize this dictionary into a kind of a JSON object and sets the appropriate content type inside the application slash JSON. So let me first save this question. So once I saved it, so it's all done. Now what I'm going to do, I have to run this particular code. Okay, so I am going to run. Let me show you the command. So I'm using this particular command. Let me first clear everything so that it becomes clear. And yeah, so now I'm going to show you how I'm going to run this particular. So what I'm doing, so this is the command for running it. Fast API uh, dev fast API dev, and this is the folder 01 core concept. And here we have this particular file. So our file is, let me put the file double zero, let's go simple dot py. Okay, now when I enter this, so it's going to run the particular thing. So you can see here, it has been started. And when I click on this one, so this one, so you can see here in the server, it's showing the message, welcome to the API tutorial. And now if I want to see the Swagger API, Swagger UI interface, this is how the interface looks. So you can see here, we don't have any parameters right now. So you can see here, it's been successful response. Okay, so this was the most simplest setup for the Fast API. Um, Thanks for watching this video. And if you have any questions, please comment in the in the comment section. And see you in the next video. Thanks everyone for watching.